Welcome. Today I'm going to cover my top 5 most frightening customer service facts. These 5 things are some facts that every business owner should know. Everyone who owns a small business needs to know and understand these. Every business owner and even their staff. Now, are you glad that I didn't have my hair like the thumbnail? That would have been frightening, yeah? That would have been really frightening. But I thought I'd spare you because it would be a distraction, quite frankly. My 5 most frightening customer service facts. The first fact that I want to share with you is frightening. 70% of buying experiences are based on how a customer feels they're being treated. Let me repeat that again. 70%, that's a lot, of buying experiences are based on how the customer feels they are being treated. Now, please note, the word feels is in capital for a reason. It's really, really important. And one of the struggles is how do we create the feeling? How do we make customers feel they're welcomed? How do we make them feel that we're excited for them to be here? How do we make them feel valued? Feeling. It's really kind of subjective, or is it? Communication 101 says, if I'm talking to my husband and I say, well, I didn't intend for you to feel that way when I said whatever I said, and he says, but I do feel this way, the feeling is correct. The feeling is true for that person, regardless of what it is that I'm saying to him. That was a hard one to learn in college. I remember arguing when I was in that class thinking, what? No, that's not what I'm intending. And it honestly, to sum up, it didn't matter what the intention was of the speaker. The feeling or the truth or reality was whatever it was that person was feeling or understanding. So we can argue all day long in customer service that, well, I didn't mean them to think this or feel this, or I didn't intend for my whatever to come across as abrupt or rude or whatnot. Let's just get over that. Let's get past it, because we can stand on our laurels all day long and justify the way that we don't look at people or the way we talk to them or don't talk to them. And in the end, bottom line, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but I'm going to say it doesn't matter. What matters is how that person is feeling. It's really important that we raise the awareness with staff and that they understand it's how the person feels they're being treated. A feeling. Now, this is not an easy thing to teach, but a little PSA, I've got a few tools for you. Power of People Academy, I'll link to it below, is a 6-week intensive course that I take your staff and you through that teaches this very thing. So you can check that out if you'd like. And also creating a culture deck if you want a little bit more of a slow drip DIY thing. I'll put that link in the notes below as well. Because, well, this quote that you see this week, actually all of these are in the Creating a Culture deck. And the purpose is to create awareness and understanding and value around people. That's in a nutshell. Let's move on to frightening statistic number 2. This one's a kicker. I will link to a video that I did with a business owner regarding this statistic. Here it is. 80% of companies say they deliver superior customer service. 8% of people think those same companies deliver superior customer service. Let me repeat that. It bears worth repeating. 80% of companies say they deliver superior customer service. Great thing to think you do. 8% of people being customers, think these same companies deliver superior customer service. Let's unpack that, shall we? Why is it that there's such a discrepancy? 80% to 8. That is giant. That's huge. That's a big, big, big difference. Obviously, we don't really want that to be the case. Are we just ostriches burying our head in the sand? Well, okay, in my case, yes, I was. I made the mistake of hiring skill over personality for a front desk position when we had a boutique hotel, 18 rooms in a Mayberry town. It was beautiful. Anyway, don't have it anymore. I'm doing this for you all to support small businesses. I made the mistake of hiring skill over personality. And when you have a front facing customer service position, I'll always burn this into your retinas, always hire personality, train skill. Hire personality, train skill. Always. 100%. Well, in this particular instance, I did not. I hired the skill because I was in need of a person really, really badly. And my staff was giving me these little hints and dropping these hints here and there that maybe things weren't going so well, not quite as well as I thought they were. So I would go and I would retrain this person, and I think everything was peachy. It was hunky-dory. It was a slow drip. I admit I needed a brick wall to fall on me, and I think that brick wall came in the form of many drips from my staff. I apologize, staff, right now that I didn't get it a lot sooner. I'm so sorry. I think that the nail in the coffin was when some guests who had stayed 3 or 4 times already and actually were becoming friends of ours, she approached me and she said, had this experience with this person been our first experience at your hotel, we would not have come back. I'm like, oh God, ouch. Okay, got it. Loud and clear. Remember this story because this relates to another statistic that's frightening. So what was my problem? Yes, I had my head in the sand. I was an ostrich. So we really, really don't want this 80 to 8% discrepancy to happen. Let's not ignore that people, our employees, act differently when the boss comes in, when their manager, or even when a high-performing colleague come into the room. People step up their game. We have to raise awareness around making sure we're consistently providing amazing experiences, because let's not make the same mistake I did and assume that our staff act the same way around everyone else that they act when they are around the boss. No, let's not do that. Frightening statistic number 3. In the US, even if people love a company or a product, 59% will walk away after several bad experiences. 17% will walk away after just one bad experience. Now, I gotta be honest with you. This statistic seems a little off to me. I'm not coming back if I've had 3 bad experiences. That's what happened to me in this coffee shop in Portland. First experience was phenomenal. It was a recommendation from another coffee shop that was closing. I was enjoying my day thoroughly, quite frankly. And I was by myself and I thought, I want to treat myself to some coffee. I don't usually get it because I don't really like the taste of it. But, if I get a mocha, it kind of disguises it. So I asked this place that was closing where another place would be that had good coffee. And they recommended this place that shall remain nameless. I went over. My first experience was fantastic. It was great. I'm a noob. So I, led with being a noob. And the gal, she guided me just great. Well, you can imagine that the next time I went in, I was kind of excited. I wanted the same experience, and I actually really liked the coffee. And also, the first time I was there, I bought something extra because I was having such a good experience. Save that for later. Just put that in your pocket or noggin or whatever. That story. The second time I went in, it started out great, and it ended not great at all. Not very well at all. I didn't feel welcomed. I knew that there was a mask mandate, and I could see other people over there sitting without their masks on away from the counter. When I asked the person about making my mocha less sweet and less sugar, they said, "Oh, sure, just taste it and let us know." So I backed up away from the counter when I got my mocha, and I proceeded to just pull my mask down to taste it. And it was like they jumped all over me. This person said, "Oh no, you can't take your mask down right here." And I'm thinking, you just told me to taste it. I get it. I'm not like going to rip it off and like cough everywhere. There's people right there that don't have their mask on. I'm thinking all of these things, but I want to be respectful. I'm like, okay, well, I was just going to taste it and put my mask back up and walked away. And I didn't, I tasted it when I was out on the sidewalk and thought, well, I'm not going back in. It's fine. Because I want to give these people another chance. Sometimes businesses just have a one-off bad day. That's okay. I get it. So I wanted to give them a third chance. First, great. Second, not so much. Third, try. I go in, have the same pretty good experience when I walked in. I get my coffee, and I actually had asked for it with no lid. And they said, "Oh, well, we will take your cups now." Well, they didn't tell me that at first. They told me that when I was picking my coffee up. I did express the desire not to have a lid when I first placed my order. I picked my coffee up, and I saw her getting ready to put a lid on it, and I said, "Oh no, I don't want a lid." And then they took the lid off and threw it away. I was like, oh, frustrating. I'm trying not to use plastic, single-use plastic, and oh well, okay. That's okay. So I turned to go and pour it into my cup so I can leave. And a different person kind of jumps on me and says, "Oh no, don't do that here. It might spill." And I'm thinking, okay, well, and I turned around to do it over this little drain that you have off, where there's water. And they said, no, not there. And I'm like, okay. So I walked over towards the door where there was a garbage, and I thought, I'll do it over the garbage. I'm pretty 99% sure I'm not going to spill a drop of this because this isn't my first pouring rodeo. And I went over to do it over the garbage, and they said, no, not over there. By this time, I'm really embarrassed. I'm thinking, what the freaking whatever. They said, "Oh, you might spill it on the shirts," because there were some t-shirts there. And I thought, well, then why do you have a garbage by the shirts if you are so worried about getting something on your white shirt? This time I was actually pissed. And I turned around and I just poured it in and put my cup in the garbage and left. I didn't spill a drop. I just poured it right where there was nothing I could worry about getting anything on. I will not go back to that place. I did send them a note explaining my experience, and I was hoping to get any kind of an engagement back because I left it open-ended. I wasn't just complaining, but crickets. And you know what? Something else that irritated me is that today I get an email from them about Valentine's Day orders. I thought, are you kidding me? No. Take me off your list. No, not happening. All right. Frightening statistic number 4. In most cases, customers don't tell you when they're unhappy. Only 1 in 26 unhappy customers actually complain. How about that? Maybe I should put it up here again. Only 1 in 26. 1 in 26 unhappy customers complain. My goodness. Let's try again. Only 1 in 26 unhappy customers complain. There you go. So while my complaint to that coffee shop that I took a lot of time to write out, and I was very careful not to be bitchy, quite frankly. I was stating the facts and hopefully offering them a solution and opening in the invitation to engage with me. Well, while I guess that was received maybe in not a great way because I never heard back from them, what I wished would happen was that they would view that complaint as a gift that points towards those other statistics that we shared earlier that actually shed some light and got the ostrich out of the sand and helped to create this amazing customer service experience. It would not have been very hard to turn me around at this point. I'm really honest with you about that. Now, statistic number 5 is one of my favorites. It's frightening for sure. And why is it one of my favorites? Well, it's one of my favorites because it gives us such an advantage. So here it is. 89% of consumers began doing business with a competitor following a poor customer experience. 89%. You can think about this. If you're using this for staff training, stop the video and ask each other, when is the last time you went to a competitor because of a poor customer service experience? Maybe it was because you didn't feel like you were being treated well. When I've done this with groups and we do staff training, you would not believe, or maybe you would believe, how many people start to talk about these bad experiences that they've had at businesses. You know, if there's a monopoly and you are the only game in town, maybe you have the luxury of doing what you want, but that's not the case for most businesses. Most businesses have lots of competition out there, and people are just wanting new customers. They're just vying for their customers' attention, and you can bet your boots that someone else, if I'm a customer at a coffee shop, there's another coffee shop that really wants my business. Now, besides the fact that this is a very sad statistic, I was excited. The reason I am excited about this particular statistic is because it can give small businesses such a distinct advantage. When we help customers feel like they're being treated well, we value them, we give them a great customer service experience, we are putting money in the bank. First, we have to train our staff and help them understand how valuable they are. Plug again for the Creating a Culture deck and the Power of People Academy, because that's what we do with those two tools. They're in the link below. Check them out. So first, we have to help our staff understand how valuable they are and the power that they have. When we do that, we can then provide these amazing customer service experiences that really create brand loyalty and customer loyalty. Hey, let me give you one more fact. Bonus scary statistic. This one I recite a lot because I think people are just not aware. Why? Why are we not aware? Well, because I think that marketing is sexy. People want to do marketing. They want to have stuff that looks good. They want to be an ostrich when it comes to really understanding and even being aware of this statistic. One of my favorites. Here you go. It is 6 to 7 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than it is to keep a current one. Hey, how about that? It is 6 to 7 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than to keep the existing one that you have. Now, we want to keep the customers that are a good fit with us, of course, but just think about that. How much marketing money are we wasting if we are not attending well to the people who are already our customers? Yes, we will always need to have some budget for customer acquisition. We want them to keep coming in. We want to find those people. We want to find those people that someone else gave a bad experience to and they're looking for somebody else, and then we want to grab them and bring them in. Yeah, so we're always spending some of our marketing budget on acquisition. Can I keep doing this some more? Yeah, let's just keep doing that. But let's not forget the part where we want to keep people, because this part, when we get them in the door, it's important that we treat them really well. We treat them well because they are extremely valuable. But let's suffice it to say right now, just put this one to memory. It costs 6 to 7 times more money to acquire a new customer than it is to keep a current one. Well, that's just smart marketing, baby. Let's treat those people well that we have. Well, I hope you weren't too frightened by our 5+1 bonus, frightening facts about customer experience, and I hope that they've actually helped to educate you and empower you about the importance it is around training your staff. When we value and invest in our people, it pays dividends. Raising awareness around all of these statistics is really important, and training people how to give great customer experiences so that people feel like they're being treated well, like they feel like they're valued, that's where it's at. That's where we robustly and smartly grow our small businesses, especially now when things are just opening back up. So, third PSA of the day, check out the link below. I've got 2 tools for you to make this easier. One is this creating a culture deck, which all of these statistics are in with a discussion prompt, an easy win. It's like a slow drip, right? Slow drip to help your trees grow very, very tall. If you planted a tree and you basically drown it twice a year, it's not going to grow as well as if you had a drip system and you continued to drip irrigate it all year round. Same thing with your staff. Let's drip irrigate your staff. Use the creating a culture deck to do just that. And when you want to boost in the arm and you want to really get people onboarded and trained as fast as possible and give them those skills that help them provide this great customer service experience, and they act more like partners in your business rather than bumps on a log, go check out the Power of People course in the Academy. It is a 6-week intensive, fun, educational video course that I take you through with your staff, and I do some private consultation. So there you go. Leave your vote in the comments below if you would. I would love to hear it. Which one of the 6 surprised you the most? Make it a great week. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, dingy, the dingy bell, whatever all that stuff is. All right, have a great one. Now, so it does not seem like I am just griping on someone else, let me share a story about how I learned this the hard way. When we were first starting out, and I was still in the not construction phase, but the restoration stage and phase of the hotel, I restored an 18-room boutique hotel, 3 stories, brick building, beautiful. But we're still in that beginning stage of we're going to be open very soon, but we're still doing a lot of restoration. And because I see the light out at the end of the tunnel and we need to start turning this money pit around, I booked some weddings and I started to open rooms for booking and groups and things like that. Well, because it was so new, and remember, this is the days before Facebook, before social media, I was really wet behind the ears and still pretty casual about things. Basically, someone would leave a message on the message machine, the recorder, and I would call them back to make their reservation. I know that sounds like a blast from the past, and it is. While I tried to get back to people pretty quickly, it didn't really always happen. I didn't have the sense of urgency. I wasn't really thinking about the customer experience and the customer's point of view and what they wanted. I was thinking, I'm busy, I've got all this stuff to do, I'll get back to them when I can. And my attitude maybe was not in the right place, if I'm totally honest. Well, there were a group of women that were coming out to stay. And one woman and I played phone tag. Our schedules just did not mesh. And that, like I said, I was not very fast about returning her phone call. I admit it, I wasn't very good. So sometimes 24 hours would go by before I would call her back. This actually went on for a couple of days. Well, when we finally connected, I was excited. I said, hey, we connected. You answered the phone. I'm here. And you could have heard a pin drop. It was so dry, it sucked all the moisture out of my face. What came through was very dry and very direct. And she said, I have never had this much difficulty making a reservation before in my life. Oh my word. I just kind of stopped and I think I might have stuttered and I didn't know what to say. She was right. And she was right. Yeah. I was glad she complained and she actually told me and didn't really gripe about it and complain and tell all these other people. Well, maybe she did. But I'm thankful that she told me because from that moment on, I snapped into shape and began to prioritize returning people's calls and setting up an expectation if they did leave a message as to when they could get a call back. So I was grateful for her. That was my story. It wasn't pretty. but I learned.